Hello everybody, Astocky here, and I just thought I'd do a quick video. I've been super busy with family and work lately and a whole lot of other things like that. But yeah, thought I'd put out a quick video to let you guys know that the Technicality pack, as part of the Astocky team launcher, has now updated. Again, the pack code is anjstockwell, so ANJSTOCKWELL, if you are looking to get that as part of the Astocky team launcher. So yeah, it's been updated to version 1.7.10. It has changed because a number of the mods that I was using for 1.7.2 are a bit broken in 1.7.10, plus there's a whole lot of other things, and I've decided the initial pack that I created when I created the Technicality sort of focused on a couple of smaller mods, well, Dartcraft and Ars Magica, and a bunch of stuff to make it fun. This one contains Britannia, Blood Magic, and then what I'm calling Buildcraft, and then Tinker's Construct. It does contain the latest version of Thaumcraft 4. It contains a bunch of other mods that I'm going to show you in a second. And if you are interested, I have a list at this website just here of all of the permissions for all of the mods, just in case someone's interested in that. But basically I thought I'd go through all of the mods now down the bottom here and why I've picked them. The first one is Another One Bites the Dust. That basically allows pulverizers, sag mills, anything that grinds dusts to grind a whole lot of other dust from other mods. Baubles is required for Thaumcraft and a few other mods. Bibliocraft plus Forestry and Natura. Blood Magic, Britannia. Those are the two magic mods that I really like. So they're absolutely definitely in. There's Buildcraft and Buildcraft Editions. Buildcraft, obviously just because it's cool. I wanted to put the beta version of Buildcraft 6.1 in there. It's just not stable at the moment, so that's a bit unfortunate. Buildcraft Editions adds Minecraft dual powered tools, plus it adds the ability to, using Buildcraft power and Buildcraft lasers and things, grind ores up. So that's really cool. Carpenter's Blocks, because it adds some really cool, well, it adds some really cool ways of modifying the way that Minecraft looks, so it's pretty cool. Chisel, everyone loves the Chisel mod, which just gives you so much variety when you're building things. There's then Chisel Facades, which adds Buildcraft facades, so pipe covers and things like that, for all of the blocks that Chisel makes. Obviously there's the stuff that's needed for NEI. There's the Cult of the Fallen Hub, I think it is, COFH core, and the library for it. Those are needed because I'm using the Thermal Foundation as basically my ore gen tool for the pack. There's Cookie Core, which is required for Tinker's Steelworks. Craft Guide, and I'll show you which mods are optional in a minute. Most of the mods are optional, so for those of you who don't have high-end systems, that shouldn't be a problem for you. But yeah, Craft Guide, for those of you who have some trouble with NEI or NEI doesn't really work. Enchiridion, I think is how it's pronounced. It adds books for mariculture and a couple other different things. We've got End.io. End.io adds a really cool conduit system, plus a bunch of other really cool machines as well. One thing End.io does do is it allows you to have multiple pipes through the same block, and that's a really handy feature. There's Ender Storage, because that's just a handy thing to have, particularly if you're going to maybe die. Eureka comes with Buildcraft Editions. It allows you to set up your own research progression system. It by default is used for Buildcraft Editions. I'm thinking of maybe throwing it in there to add a bit more of a tier system to things like Thermal Expansion and Ender.io, but haven't totally got there yet. Ex Nihilo, just because it's cool. Extra utilities, and I haven't nerfed it anywhere near as badly as I did for the 1.7.2 version, and I'll explain why when I get to it a bit later on, talking about what's optional and what's not. Extra Tinker's Construct, and again it just allows you to melt a whole lot of different metals within the smeltery for Tinker's Construct. Forge Multipart and Multipart Integration. This adds micro blocks and the tools to cut them up. This basically looks through the rest of your mods and creates multi-blocks for them automatically, which is pretty cool. Iguana's Tinkered Tweaks. In the 1.7.2 version of the pack that I brought out, I kind of nerfed Tinker's Construct to make it not quite so OP. What I've done now is I've left it pretty much as standard, but I've put the Tinker Tweaks in there for those of you who want Tinker's Construct to be a bit more of a challenge. And yeah, it really changes the game up. It totally changes all the levels that all the blocks can get mined out of all the different tools and things. And yeah, I think it adds a really good flavor to how it works, and it makes you kind of value your tools. You know, you don't get a tool and kind of go, throw that away. You kind of want to work with it and build it so you get the experience. Obviously, inventory tweaks. Jabber. Jabber is the only storage mod that I've added other than the standard Minecraft chests and the things that come with like thermal expansion and things like that. There's like filing cabinets and crates and things like that. So your Jabber gives you that storage option when you want a lot of storage. Mantle required for Tinker's Construct. Map Writer, because it's a really cool thing. I've added Mariculture because I think it goes well with kind of forestry, has the bees and the trees. Mariculture adds the fish and another way to kind of get some different things. Plus it adds the ability to kind of get around under the ocean and just adds a whole new dynamic to water, which is, I think, really cool. The Mine Tweaker 3 allows me to just tweak things up a little bit, and I'll show you what I've done with that. Obviously Forge. I've added Mo villages in. I've gone back to the default vanilla spawn rate though. So you shouldn't have anywhere near as many villages as we had in the 1.72 version. Mouse tweaks because it's cool. Natura because it goes with Tinker's Construct. NEI add-ins, plugins, all that kind of stuff because you want lots of them. I put nether ores in. Pam's clay spawn again. Get all the seeds in Harvest Craft because those are just really cool mods and I love them. I finally added progressive automation in because for those of you who don't like the forestry type system, and for those of you who don't like buildcraft quarries, this adds another way to like harvest trees, to do some mining and to do some farming, and it has quite a really good tiered system that I think fits in fairly well. I've added in Railcraft. Now that Patreon has been as successful as it has for Covert Jaguar, he's changed his licensing rules. So because I have now up the top provided this list of all of my permissions that is public and viewable, I can now have Railcraft as part of my pack. I know not everyone likes the tweaks that Railcraft changes. I think it's a really well balanced mod, and it plus forestry fit in really well with Buildcraft to give it that more kind of rounded feel. So I think that's really cool. It adds the ability to get steel in a way that's really quite balanced and makes you work for it. It adds the Crusher, which is a really cool machine that again has that real balance to it that makes you work for it. Redstone Arsenal I've added in. Now this is the RF power tweak to forestry, so it makes it connect up better with machines from thermal expansion and Ender IO and things like that use RF as their default power. Thorncraft 4, it's the very, very cutting edge latest version that's only just been released. So for all you Thorncraft buffs out there, there it is. I tend not to do a lot with Thorncraft 4 because it's just a bit too much. I just don't find it as enjoyable as some of the other magic oriented mods, but I know there's people out there who love it, so I thought I'd put it in the pack. Again, got the correct permissions for it. You can see over here some of them say no authors, no website. Those I'm just going to update as the pack goes on. I haven't quite got there yet. Got thermal expansion, thermal foundation, which I'm using to generate all the ores. Excuse me. To go with Tinker's Construct, I've got the Tinker's Tooltips, so you can see all the information. The Tinker's Mech Works, the Tinker's Steel Works, which allows you to get steel. And then I've got what am I looking at, and what am I looking at harvestability, which tells you whether you can break blocks or not. I've actually got this configured, and I'll show you in a second. Instead of by default giving you heaps of information, all it does now is when you look at a block, if you can't break it, it tells you. If you can break it, you won't see anything except for the name of the block. That just gets a whole lot of that extra kind of spam out of things. So that is, I guess you'd call it the setup as we know it. So what I'm going to do now is bring it up. So I'm going to just reinstall this just to show you guys what we have here. So this is the current latest version. It's B because it's still in beta. That means I might mess things up. It's the third version of Technicality. There's been no world gen changes. That's basically what these numbers mean. There's been no world gen changes since I released it. So for those of you looking at updating, if you have a world you're really keen on and you see this number here change, that means there's been a world gen change and you may or may not want to do it. The next one is if I've added a new mod or a mod has changed its major version. So that'd be like Thorncraft going from 4.1 to 4.2 because that sometimes breaks things. And I would only change this number without this number if Ars Magica, for example, for 1.6.4, it did a change that broke a lot of the multi-block structures in it because it changed the fundamentals of how they worked, but it didn't change world gen. So that'd be a number here, but not here. And this one here is just a build number. Basically, every time I update something, that number's going to increment. So the pack's been out, what, 2 days, and it's up to its fourth build. So, it's getting there. So now, once we go to install this, you can see on the left are the non-optional mods. Biblio Woods Natura and Biblio Woods Forestry are linked to Bibliocraft, so if I turn that off, they both turn off. At least that's how it should happen. Yes, there we go. Same with Chisel Facades. That's set up to do it just like that as well. That way, if you turn one off, the other turns off. If I turn off Forge Multipart, Multipart Integration turns off. You can have Forge Multipart without the Multipart integration, but you can't have it the other way around. So I'm going to turn that and that back on. Actually, I'm going to just cancel because it's a bit of a graphical glitch. It doesn't show that as being installed now. But basically, I'm just going to install all the mods. I'm probably not going to use a lot of them. Again, thermal expansion is optional for those of you who want it that way. End.io should be optional as well. I'm not sure why that's not optional. Because again, it's meant to be just the kind of the Buildcraft things. And so we've got like Buildcraft, Tinker's Construct, the 2 major magic mods, and then just some other mods to kind of support it as the default. But then yeah, I just install them all because it's cool. So I've downloaded them all before, so it's going to go through really quickly. Says me. And then I'm going to I'm going to click play, and hopefully really quickly without too much lag or problems show you how it looks, show you what it's like basically. Now you will notice it takes a very, very long time for it to boot. That's not my particular pack. That's a 1.7.10 Forge thing. Even with hardly any mods, it still takes quite a while to boot. And if you look at the console, as I'm doing right now, there's a whole lot of like crash spam in there. Just a heap of it. And they all seem to be wrapper and invocation problems. Not totally sure what caused them. Don't honestly care all that much, because once you start playing, everything just kind of works. And I've just generated a new world here, and I'll just give you a quick sort of example of how things look. So here we are, we're in the world, and I have this is my pickaxe that's set up, and you can see there, whoops, the mining level is copper, it's got haste, it's been boosted. That's because I've mined enough with it that I've boosted its mining level as well as its skill level, and that's given me a bunch of really cool things. You can see it tells you what you can mine. I can now mine copper because it's boosted. A diamond pick can mine obsidian, and if we go and look at things, you can see I can mine a grass block with this. I can mine stone blocks. I can mine this water infused stone. See the big X appear? I cannot mine amber bearing stone. Can mine limestone. Can mine copper. Can't mine tin. So you can see that it kind of just tells you what you can and can't get. And as you can see, that can't mine part disappears when I change to a diamond pick that I've spawned in. If I was to spawn in just a default flint pick, you can see that mining level copper, mining skill comfortable. This one here is mining level stone, mining skill clumsy. So I can still do stone, can't do copper though. And that's because if I go down here, the mining XP level is at 0. This mod adds another cool thing though, which is kind of a shortcut to boost things up if you want to do that. I can hear zombies. Basically what it does is it allows you to, when you've killed different mobs, you can take the heads of the mobs and put them on your tools. So you can see a creeper can boost up to redstone. So if I was to get an iron pick, there we go, iron, you can see that I can only mine iron with iron. I can't mine redstone. So I would have to get some mining experience with it in order to be able to use it to mine redstone or diamonds to get to the next tier. So everything has this kind of tiered progression set up. But what I can do is I can come over here with this flint as an example and place a zombie head on it because it says applicable up to copper. Now that I have the zombie head on there, it says mining level is now copper. So you can see the mining level has been boosted. This one has the haste, and I didn't actually add the 50 redstone. It's just because I've gone to comfortable skill instead of clumsy. And when you go up a skill level, it automatically adds a random boost to it. So you might get self-repair, you might get fortune, you might get reinforced. You have all these random kind of things that you get as you use it. And that's kind of what adds a lot of, I think, fun and flavour to the tools and how they work. I have, though, edited the mining levels myself. So typically with the Tinker's Tweaks, if you get a stone pick, where is it? There we go, stone pick. It would typically have a mining level that's only stone, which means you couldn't even mine cobblestone with it. What I have done, because again, not everyone wants their vanilla tools to be useless, I've set it up so that all of the things that you could normally mine in vanilla, so you can't get tin, but can get copper. Come down here, I'm sure I had some down here, can get that. Where's that iron? And can get iron with it. So it's kind of, and oh yeah, can't get gold. So I've kind of unnerfed it a little bit. A bit of creeper in there. Just because I thought that would make it a little bit more bearable for people who don't like it. It also means if you don't really like the idea of the super slow progression up to iron, you could basically mine one of these, go mine some iron, and go straight to an iron pick and work your way up from there. So yeah, it kind of gives you a bit of, I think, flexibility to make it whatever you want to make it. You can see all the, I think that's kelp under the water there. So yeah, lots of really cool things, I think, in this pack. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you think there's a mod that's a buildcraft based mod, so something like railcraft or forestry that I have missed, please let me know, because I'm looking to try and add some of them. If you have some other mods that you think might be cool, let me know as well and I'll consider them. Again, I'm trying not to get too many mods that do too many things. Like I said, Ender.io shouldn't be in by default. It should be optional, and it'll be optional in the next build that I put out. But extra utilities is not, because of the ability to make, are they called nodes? Retreat. These are all called nodes. But what do you call the actual conduit itself? The pipe. I'm sure we use an ender pearl to make it. Oops, I don't want a recipe for that, I want a use for it. Now I'm not convinced I even know what I'm doing. and I can't even type in extra utilities because that just doesn't work anymore. Man, I should totally know what they're called. 1005. The new system, because of the way the mods kind of order themselves, things jump all over the place. So I'm going to have to look for it. But basically the pipes that are added by extra utilities, I've left in there because they allow you to do some things that default Buildcraft pipes don't. For example, like a barrel sorting system where the pipe goes past the barrels and deposits the item in the barrel as it can. Buildcraft pipes, because of the way that they work, tend to require a much more complicated setup. Transfer pipe. Recipe. There you go. So you need redstone, stone slabs, and that gets you transfer pipes. So that's not a very expensive recipe, and it allows you to do, like I said, some fairly cool sorting systems and things that I think was pretty important to make by default. I've also left all the tanks in, the drums. By themselves, these drums aren't really cheap. They require quite a lot of iron, but they're a really good storage system that you can use for storing, instead of having massively super stacked high Buildcraft oil and fuel things, you can now use drums, so it adds some pretty cool stuff. So what I'm actually going to do is, not with this world, when I get a chance, hopefully straight after this, but it will really depend on how things go, I'm going to kick things off and start a bit of a let's play with this. This does mean that I'm probably going to be stopping some of the other let's plays that I'm doing. I'm intending to just keep going the ultra hard survival with Ryan the Almighty. Again, I've just been so busy, it's really hard to get together with him. I've been trying to do it at least once a week, but the last week and a bit's just been untidy. But yeah, I'm hoping to get that done, so I can start recording that again with him, and then I'm going to do this one as well. So that means the Yogscast Complete one I'm going to get rid of. It did some updating that pretty much broke my world, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, I've pretty much broken that world. The Agarian Skies, I was really into it for a little while, and then it just kind of got too grindy for me, and because I wasn't able to spend enough time playing it, I sort of lost a bit of interest in that, so I'm going to stop that one. And I think that was pretty much it for the Minecraft Let's Plays that I was really doing, those three. And so yeah, I'm cutting away 2 of them. I'm going to do this one, which is going to be mainly focusing on the Buildcraft stuff, because you can do so much really cool stuff with Buildcraft. And yeah, I'm going to be doing mainly Buildcraft stuff, but that includes forestry, railcraft, but some other things as well that are in the pack. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Hopefully you guys try it out. If you make any, well, I guess if you play this and you want to make a video of it and post it, send me a link. Happy to check it out. Always interested to see what people are doing with my mod pack. For those of you who I know are going to ask, well, what about the server for this? I just don't have enough time at the moment to get on the computer, and I don't know when I'm going to be able to again. So until such time as I can regularly get on the computer and regularly play on the server, I'm not going to host a server. If anyone else wants to host a server, feel free to do that and let me know, and I will try and get on there when I can. But again, this is just going to be a single player let's play for now, where maybe I might open the world up to some other people later on. But yeah, so yeah, this is the Endy Cronny bookie thingy, which basically tells you all about mariculture. There's the materials new from Tinkers, and this is the engineer's diary that comes with Buildcraft Edition. So basically, you can see here, research required none. I've unlocked the basic duster. The next one is the semi-automatic duster. It requires the basic duster, and I have to process 20 items in the basic duster to unlock the research for it. Then you got the mechanical duster, the kinetic duster, and each one of them has a bit of a description about what it is and how you came up with it, which I think is pretty cool. The next one is the kinetic multi-tool. I basically just have to craft tools. Once I craft 10 tools, this research will unlock. Those things are, the recipes are still there, so you can still make them. You see I need a Buildcraft assembly table. Obviously it's going to take me a while to get to that, but even if you make it, you can't actually use it until you've unlocked it. Basically it just keeps not working. It just keeps going back to 0 durability when you try to use it if you haven't unlocked it. So yeah, so that's going to be the end of this not so short, now that I look at the time that it's been going for, video about the Technicality 3 pack. Again, the pack code is anjstockwell, just like my YouTube username. Please check it out. Really interested to see what you guys think of it. Like I said, I've gone for something that is quite Buildcraft oriented, with a little bit of stuff in there to make it more fun, but I really think you guys are going to want to add more mods. That's why I've added all those optional mods. But yeah, I think it's going to be a heap of fun to play, and I'm really looking forward to it. So until next time, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'm looking forward to your feedback. Astocky out.